Russia needs to respect Ukraine's territorial integrity and sovereignty. Resolution to the conflict in Ukraine needs to be one that respects the UN Charter, that respects Ukraine's territorial integrity. India is a strategic partner with whom we engage in a full and frank dialogue.
Could I follow up on Ukraine and some of the diplomacy? The Hungarian prime minister was recently in Kyiv and Moscow and Beijing. Do you find anything productive about this? What's your take on it?
No, not at all. We find it concerning, in fact. Look, before he traveled to Russia, you did see the Hungarian prime minister travel to Ukraine. We thought that was an important thing for him to do. We thought that was a productive step. And we would welcome, of course, actual diplomacy with Russia to make it clear to Russia that they need to respect Ukraine's sovereignty, that they need to respect Ukraine's territorial integrity, but that is not at all what this visit appears to have been.
Could I follow up on one more? There's another visitor in Moscow today, Prime Minister Modi of India. Obviously India has a long-standing relationship with Russia. What do you think of the timing of this right before the NATO summit and in light of what's going on?
Yeah, so again, we did just see Modi, like Orban, meet with President Zelensky. We thought that was an important step to take. And we would urge India, as we do any country when it engages with Russia, to make clear that any resolution to the conflict in Ukraine needs to be one that respects the UN Charter, that respects Ukraine's territorial integrity, Ukraine's sovereignty. And, India is a strategic partner with whom we engage in a full and frank dialogue, and that includes on our concerns about the relationship with Russia.
Was it? I don't understand your answer to the Orban question. I mean, it's okay and it's good and productive for him to go to see Zelensky in Kyiv, but it's concerning and bad that he goes to Putin. Is it only the timing?
No.
Because there are plenty of people who have been going.
If you listen to the answer to my full answer, it's we welcome people engaging with Russia about the war in Ukraine if they make clear to Russia that Russia needs to respect Ukraine's territorial integrity and sovereignty. And that goes to the fact that there is a difference between Ukraine and Russia, and there's a difference between engaging with Ukraine and Russia because one side is the aggressor and one side's the victim. So of course we look at their engagement with those two countries differently.
Well, yeah, but okay, so do you know for sure that he didn't make those things clear?
We have seen no indication that is, including his public statements, that is
and do you think that Prime Minister Modi made clear to President Putin?
As I just said,
do you think that President Erdogan has made clear?
So I will look to Prime Minister Modi's public remarks to see what he talked about. But as I said, we made quite clear directly with India our concerns about their relationship with Russia, and so we would hope India and any other country, when they engage with Russia, would make clear that Russia should respect the UN Charter, should respect Ukraine's sovereignty and territorial integrity.
And what's the problem with Orban going to see Xi?
I wasn't asked about that. I was asked about that.
You were asked about that.
Oh, I missed that part of the question.
No? Wasn't that part of your question?
Yeah, I was asking.
I totally missed the Xi part I was talking about.
So so you don't have a problem with him.
I don't have any comment. We understand that countries engage with China. We, as you know, Secretary Blinken has traveled to China twice now with President Xi.
Just follow up briefly on the Modi part of that. You said that that the U.S. has dialogue with India about concerns about the relationship with Russia. Were the concerns expressed prior to Modi's visit, and has there been any dialogue before that?
We have long made clear those concerns.
I mean, specifically about the trip to Moscow.
I'm not aware of any conversations specifically about this trip in advance of the trip.